Wednesday Addams hair going on today, but blonde, so like Tuesday Addams. Hello there. Hi, my name is Jessie. I'm a screenwriter, and this is a channel where I make screenwriting content. I got a microphone because I am a boss babe now, if you didn't know that. And today's video is super fun. I mean, aren't they always fun? I'm a really fun person. I'm delightful. That's why you're here. Today I have for you a Jurassic World TV series. I know, it's gonna be fun. Now, I know that there is a animated Jurassic Park series on Netflix. I haven't watched it, but I can already tell you that it's very different from what I have written here. I think the animated one is more geared towards kids, and this is very much like a network drama type of thing that you're getting here. So let's just get into it. I'm calling this series Jurassic World Before the Storm. Cool, right? By the way, major props to the Jurassic World wiki page for helping me with all of the nerd shit, because I wouldn't have known any of this if it weren't for the Jurassic World wiki. And if anything is wrong, blame that. So this series is taking place in Jurassic World, in the park. I thought it was such a cool location, and I thought it would be so interesting to explore that more, because we didn't really get to see it. We got a little bit of an introduction in the movie, but then everything went to hell. So I thought, now let's get some characters and let's explore the actual world of Jurassic World. So this is taking place 5 years before the events of Jurassic World, the movie, in 2010. So we're gonna get some really fun period costumes. Apparently Jurassic World opened in 2005. Nobody told me about it at the time. So this is 5 years after the opening of Jurassic World and 5 years before the events of the movie. And we have three main characters at play. First, we have Carmen, and she really wants to be a trainer. She loves dinosaurs. She thinks they're so cool. She wants to learn more about them, and that's kind of her goal throughout the series, is to get promoted to trainer. And at the point of the pilot episode, she has just been promoted to the announcer of the Mosasaurus show. Before, she was just working in a coffee shop in the park, and now she's announcing the Mosasaurus show. And she is friends with Santos, who is currently working in the coffee shop. They used to work together, and he is kind of just floating through life. He doesn't really know what he wants to do or what he wants to get out of life. He just is working at this coffee shop, and he doesn't really have a plan for the next portion of his life. And Santos has a huge crush on a trainer that comes in to buy coffee all the time, and she is Alana, and she is our last main character. Like I said, she's a trainer for the Gallimimus. Hope I'm saying that right. She's a Gallimimus trainer, and she really loves the dinosaurs in like a motherly way. She has a very loving relationship with her Gallimimus herd. And then we have two other side characters that are involved in this. We have Natalie, and she is a veterinarian at the park, and she's going to end up being the love interest of Carmen. And then we have Steve. He's a geneticist, and he's a co-worker and friend of Alana's. So let's talk through the pilot, shall we? In the pilot, we open up on a very normal looking employee lounge, and Santos is clocking in and putting his stuff away, and Carmen comes in, and he's very excited for her, congratulating her because it's her first day as the Mosasaurus show announcer. They start talking, and as they talk, they walk out onto the park, and it's a very big grand reveal of the park just before opening, and no one's really there, and it's kind of like coming to life, and I think it would look really cool. So she goes off to the Mosasaurus tank, and he goes to the coffee shop to open up. Alana comes in to get her morning cup of coffee, and they start flirting a little bit, you know. She mentions that, you know, there's a new like herd of Gallimimus that are about to hatch, and I learned from the wiki page that when a new dinosaur hatches, the trainer will like live with the dinosaur and like sleep by their cage and stuff, so that like they have a motherly bond with the dinosaur. And so she's like, well, once these Gallimimus hatch, I'm gonna be like trapped in the lab, because I'm gonna have to be like taking care of them, and they're gonna have to like learn my scent or whatever. And so he's like, well, maybe we should like go on a date before you get trapped in the lab for an undisclosed period of time. And so they make a date for that night. And then from there we follow Alana to the lab, and she's checking on the Gallimimus eggs, and there we also meet Steve, who comes in, and he's at present they're co-workers. He's like the geneticist working on the Gallimimus project. And so her and Steve are talking, and once they're done checking on the eggs, they get in a golf cart and they go over to the petting zoo, which is where the like baby Gallimimus are. And Steve reveals that he has been contracted onto a new project. And he's like, I can't say what project it is, but it rhymes with Velociraptor. So Steve is getting put on the new Velociraptor project, and again, according to the wiki, that will, they'll be breeding them 2 years after 2010. The Velociraptors get bred in 2012, is what I'm saying. So I'm thinking, like, this is about the right time for them to start, like, compiling their genetic material or whatever the fuck needs to happen for them to make these dinosaurs. I don't know. I'm not a scientist. So Steve is getting put onto that project, and she's like, well, congratulations. Very happy for you. And they go to the petting zoo area. So there's, like, this nice mirroring moment where they're taking care of a Gallimimus, and then the parents come in with a child, and the child's like, you know, going to pet the Gallimimus, and there's like a nice mirroring moment where it's like the parents have their child, and then like Steve and Alana, like, this dinosaur is their child, you know, symbolism, poetic cinema, whatever. So then we go to Carmen, and she has finished up her very first show with the Mosasaurus. However, when it's like supposed to, they do like a demonstration at the end where it like eats something, and it like doesn't eat, and she's like, that's concerning, like maybe there's something wrong. So she calls the vet, and Santos then goes on his like lunch break, and he goes over to the petting zoo to see Alana, and you know, she's in the petting zoo, and she's like helping all the Gallimimus and being their mom and stuff, and he's like waving at her, and she's like, hey. And then Steve comes up to Alana, and he like whispers something to her, and they like run off, and they're like running out, and she stops when she gets to Santos, and she's like, hey, the Gallimimus eggs are hatching early, like, I'm sorry, I have to cancel our date tonight, I have to go take care of these dinos. And then we go back, and we see Natalie the vet comes in to check on the Mosasaurus, and I don't know what she does. I'm not a scientist. She watches it and, I don't know, puts some electrolytes in the water or something. Like, I don't know. She and Carmen kind of start flirting, and she's like, oh yeah, like, it's fine, but I'm gonna come and check on him. Or her. They're all girls, aren't they? She's like, I'm gonna come check on her later to make sure everything's okay, and like, here's my personal number, and like, don't hesitate to call me if you like need anything. Wink wink. And then we get to see all of the little Gallimimus hatching, and Alana's bonding with them. And Steve is like, why don't I go get you something, some coffee, a snack? And she's like, sure. So Steve goes to the coffee shop, and Carmen also goes to the coffee shop, and she's talking to Santos, and she's like, this veterinarian was like hard flirting with me, just so you know. And he's like, I full on had a date with Alana, but then these dumb Gallimimus had to be born today. That's the moment when Natalie and Steve come into the coffee shop holding hands together. And Santos is like, is that the vet you were talking about? And Natalie's like, yeah. So Steve gets his coffee and stuff for Alana and they leave. And Carmen is like, hey, Santos, you should, like, you know, make a grand romantic gesture for Alana, because, like, you're not actually going to be able to see her for who knows how long. So he takes her advice and he makes up, like, a romantic picnic, and he takes it into the lab where Alana is, and they, like, start to have a romantic picnic, but, like, between whatever barrier there is. I don't know. And then Alana has to get up because some Gallimimus is, you know, causing trouble in the neighborhood. So she has to go get up and take care of it, and Santos is like, oh, while she's up, I will collect her dishes, and he makes the big mistake of opening the gate to get her dishes, and sneaky little Gally runs out, and he's like, oh shit, I just let a dinosaur out. Thankfully, it's a baby Gallimimus, so to my knowledge, they're not super dangerous. So they're freaking out. She's like, what am I gonna do? These are my children. I can't leave them. And Santos is like, well, can't they just make another one? And she's like, you got $75,000 laying around, boy. So he's like, I will catch it. And she's like, it's probably too soon, but here. And she, like, gives him her scrunchie or something that has her scent on it. Or, like, it's 2010, so, like, she gives him her infinity scarf. And so he has something with her scent on it, and they, like, he goes out and tries to catch the Gally, and he's freaking out, so he calls Carmen and is like, you gotta help me. And at the moment, Carmen is at the Mosasaurus tank with Natalie, who has come to check on it again, and they're, like, flirting it up. And so Carmen and Natalie agree to help Santos, you know, catch the Gallimimus, and they go on a wild goose chase. It'll be fun antics for everyone. You know, the Gallimimus is running around, and they finally corner him in, or her, they're all girls, sorry. They finally corner it in the coffee shop, and it, like, makes a big mess in the coffee shop. But then Santos, like, lures it in with the aforementioned infinity scarf. You know, he saves it, and Carmen and Natalie stay behind to clean up the coffee shop and bond and flirt. And then Santos brings the Gallimimus back to Alana, and she's like, my hero. Alana makes a comment about, like, you know, this is what it's like to date me. I hope you're ready, because the dinosaurs will always come first in my life. And he's not really bothered by that. He's like, well, lucky for you, though, there's an opening for number one priority in my life. So, you know, I don't really have anything going on, so I can dedicate all of my time to working around your life and your schedule. And that's the pilot episode. So I think there's a lot of potential for future seasons here. You know, Santos and Alana would continue to date, and Santos will learn to greater appreciate just his life and, you know, the opportunities that he can have by being in the presence of this, like, amazing miracle of modern science and seeing these dinosaurs up close. He's like, wow. And so he, with this new experience, is more motivated to rise up in the ranks, and he will rise up and eventually become the director of entertainment at the park so he can bring the magical experience of dinosaurs to other people. But, you know, this will cause a problem because originally they worked because Santos didn't have anything going on and he could make it work with Alana's schedule, but now they have two conflicting schedules, so there's some drama there and some, you know, conflict. And then Carmen and Natalie are gonna be like our Jim and Pam, where, like, Natalie's taken, but she and Carmen secretly want each other, and they'll eventually get together by the end. And I'm thinking season 1 can end with, like, a big tropical storm coming in, and all the characters have to weather it, and they have to deal with, like, power outages and dinosaurs escaping and, you know, all this stuff, and it'll be like really dramatic and exciting. You can have a lot of like cool things going on. You can have like a disease outbreak among the dinosaurs one season. Is that too soon? Maybe too soon. Carmen can work on getting promoted to trainer. The Velociraptor project will come, you know, to fruition. And we can see through Steve like a lot of the behind the scenes science work that's going on, which I think will be really cool and interesting and kind of like mysterious, because it's like, what crazy secret projects does Dr. Henry Wu have going on? And then the last season can follow the development of the Indominus Rex, and then the final episode would be the events of Jurassic World, but from the perspective of these characters, and then you get to see who lives and who dies in Jurassic World. That's pretty freaking cool, if you ask me. That's some good content right there. I'm just saying. And that's my idea for a Jurassic World TV series. I really hope you enjoyed this. If anyone wants to make this, just give me a call. Thank you so much for watching. I will leave all my links in the description down below where you can follow me. Subscribe if you want to see more from me, like this video, all that good stuff, and I will see you next time. Bye!